How to use colour channels with the procedural texture filter in Affinity Photo. Create a new document for the procedural texture filter. Go to the Layer menu and New Layer. The filter needs something to work with, so go to the Edit menu and Fill with black. I'm going to use a preset that creates a grayscale image. I don't want to go to the Filters menu just yet. Go to the View menu, Studio and Channels to display the Channels panel. Go to the panel and go to the composite green and deselect that line. Go to the composite blue and deselect that line. The filter will now only work in the red channel. With the red channel active, go to the Filters menu, Colours and Procedural Texture. Go to the top of the panel and select a preset. Use waves if you haven't got the equation that I'm going to be using. If you want to use the equation, you can find it in the description with the custom inputs. You can see other videos on the channel showing how to create this preset. Go down to the custom inputs and change some of the settings, say for A, B, C, etc. Alternatively, you could have gone to the top of the panel and used the R, G and B. You could have then had R and G and B in separate equations, but that would have increased the custom inputs. Click Apply and that's applied for the red channel. Go to the Channels panel and then set the red to all off and set the green to all on. Go to the Filters menu and Colours and Procedural Texture and now go to the same preset as before. You could of course select any of the other presets. Go to the bottom of the panel and go to the custom inputs and set the settings to different values from the red. You can tweak the weave function in numerous ways. There's many different settings and you can always go and change the equation as well. Once you're happy with the green settings, just click Apply. Go to the Channels panel and then deselect the green, so the editable and viewable, and then select the blue channel, viewable and editable. You will then see a black channel. With the blue channel on, go to the Filters menu, Colours and Procedural Texture. Go to the top of the panel and select the same preset as you had before, or perhaps try a different one, up to you. Change the custom input settings, make them different from the red and the green channel. You can also go to the equation field and manipulate some of the equation to make it slightly different than before. Once you're happy with the blue settings, you can then click Apply. You can always go back to the red or green channel if you want to tweak them further. Go to the Channels panel and then go to the top right and there's a little circle. Click that to put it back to RGB. You can now see the end result, but you can always go back, as mentioned, to the channels red, green and blue. You should now have a really super colourful design instead of what would have been a grayscale image. Nothing wrong with that, of course. I'm going to zoom in so you can see the colourful design. That doesn't need to be the end point. You can always combine it with other filters, such as distortion filters, deform and mirror. Save your work via the File menu and Export. Go to the Filters menu and Distort and Deform. Add some pins across the image. Drag them in all kinds of ways. You can put pins around the edges or put pins very close together or pins in a line. You have to be very careful with the edges. Sometimes you'll find the edge will break away. Click the Apply once you're happy with the image. You can always undo or add another deform, or perhaps use the mirror filter via the Distort menu, or create multiple copies of that layer and use deform on each of those layers and use blending modes. The procedural texture can be used across channels to create all kinds of amazing colourful designs. The key components, the Channels panel, procedural texture and deform. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Please subscribe to the Graphic Extras channel, always adding new tutorials about Affinity Photo. Please add a comment or two, always appreciated. A dislike or like. Thank you very much.